But my beats, they are hard.
Good evening and welcome to another live episode of the BCSN SportsWrap. And there are no words that can describe what Drew has affectionately dubbed the Wingate Wish. That's what you called it, right, Drew?
Yes. Yes, the Wingate Wish.
The Wingate Wish.
Because they wish that they were able to get that. That's a wish play.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Benedict College. What a season for the Benedict Tigers. One of two of the 5 HBCU Division II teams that played in the NCAA opening regional round of the playoffs, football playoffs last night or yesterday afternoon. Advancing on, right now, that's the leader in the clubhouse, I think, Drew, for football, HBCU football player of the year, surpassing the final play of the Alabama State-Jackson State game, wouldn't you say?
Yes.
Maybe. Yes, no, maybe. I don't know. I think doesn't it depend on what Jackson State does? I mean, their season's not over. It does kind of depend on what they do, right? They have to win the SWAC. I don't know about the Celebration Bowl per se, but in order for that to be the new play of the year,
man, that's the play of the century.
Play of this. Oh, you're going century, huh?
Yes, of the quarter century thus far. I mean, Brian, that was the Music City Miracle. The only difference between that and the Music City Miracle was the Music City Miracle, if y'all remember that, during the Titans Super Bowl run, was on a kickoff. That play was called on the kickoff. This play was called on a 4th and 10. Other than that, it was the same thing. And Trey Simmons, the quarterback from last season, threw a rope across the field.
That's who he was.
That's who he was playing wide receiver.
Damn.
Which is why that play had a chance.
Pretty. That ball looks so pretty going across the field. I mean, what's the width on the football field going
53 to
sideline?
53 to third.
So, I mean, he essentially threw
45 yards.
At least a 40. Yeah, I was going to say 40, but yeah, easily a 40, 45 yarder across the field.
And the experience at quarterback, the pump fake was even better because it's just like when the quarterback's back there scrambling, he's running, he's going to get there, he want to get that defender up in the air so that he can keep on running. The pump fake is what was sold it. So not only does he have to complete the throw that ball across, but shout out to Malik Mullins. You have to catch that ball, number one. Number two, you got to sprint down the sideline. And then you got to break a tackle at the 10-yard line, Brian, to get into the end zone. Wow.
Yeah, definitely wow.
But that wasn't the only play.
No.
We got a couple more plays that y'all really need to.
Hey, look, they did what? That's perfectly titled for today's show. They did what? I mean, because I can easily say that's one. I think there's at least two, three. There's
maybe. We may be able to do a top 5 just from yesterday. They did what?
Yeah, definitely so. Hello to everybody coming in and joining us. This is the BCSN SportsWrap. Brian Fulford and A.D. Drew here, the longest running HBCU sports talk show on the interwebs, 9 years running, strong right here on the Black College Sports Network. Glad to be here with you. Hello to everybody watching on the YouTube feeds. I see our good friend, Coach Farasi Norman, in the chats. What up, Coach? Good to see you, as well as some of our JDN subscribers like Mary 305, some of our regulars who join us, Blue Jacket for Life, Jimmy Mack, SoFlo Rattler, Sylvester Williams in the building, Sly in the house, Jeff Roberts, Aggie Pride jumping in, the usual, no coach shirt today. No coach shirt today. I'm rocking with champions today. Blue Jacket for Life. I'm rocking with champions today. Why, you ask? Oh, hold on just a second. Because I know some of y'all got jokes. So let me just remind y'all about these championships that happen to come out of the highest of 7 hills in Tallahassee, Florida.
Good save by Felice and the dig by Harris. This one goes up. Brown once again making a save, and this one going over. Unbelievable play. This one dig up by Brown. On the floor. It's over. Florida A&M. They have won the 2025 Southwestern Athletic Conference Tournament.
For the fourth time, not one, not two, not three, but for the fourth time in 5 championship game appearances since joining the conference, the Florida A&M Lady Rattlers are your SWAC 2025 volleyball champions. And this time, we did it as the 8 seed, Drew. We didn't need the 1 seed. We didn't need the 2 seed. We didn't need the 3 seed.
But we did need home court advantage.
We did need home court advantage.
Let's keep it all.
This year we got home court advantage. Defeating Southern. I mean, when you look at that tournament, unbelievable tournament.
But you know something, Brian? that tournament, the seeding in that tournament was so wacky because the lower seeds 5 through 8 all had identical records. So was the number 8 truly the number 8, and was the number 5 truly the number 5? But everybody's 9 and 7 in
Hey,
those
look,
last 4 slots.
5, what was it? 5, 6, 7, and 8 all had the same record.
Yeah.
And it came down to how those teams played against each other. And
Correct.
unfortunately, FAMU finished 1 and 3 against Alabama A&M, Southern, and Texas Southern, right? And so it just so happened that, hey, it put them right there square in the eyes of a team that they were prepared for 2 weeks. We talked to Coach Gokhan Yilmaz on Wednesday's O&G Strike Zone, and they had been preparing for 2 weeks for Prairie View. Worst matchup. You know, sometimes these happen in tournaments. Like you have a bad matchup for Prairie View. And then, I mean, Alabama A&M, that's a team that beat us twice during the year. So we had all the motivation to want to beat them. And then at that point, it was playing with house money. I mean, you know, Southern played well, but it was house money, man, at that point. So
G-Boom, it's volleyball. How does home court advantage outside of sleeping in your own bed help you with a call in volleyball? The ball is either in or out. It was touched or it was not touched. You know, outside of a double, which they rarely call anymore in volleyball, calling a double in volleyball is like calling 3 seconds in basketball. Yeah, it's on the books, but it's never enforced.
Yeah.
So
yeah, exactly.
You know, you got to come strong with the LG Boom. I love you to death, but help a brother out.
And look, we'll give mention to the other conferences too, because the MEAC champions won on their home court. Coppin State, the Lady Eagles won. I think that was yesterday that they won on their home court. The SIAC champions, I mean, they're not an HBCU.
Spring Hill, they won. We did our obligatory. We mentioned them because it's our conference. But now let's move on to the other
exactly.
conference.
And then I'm not gonna lie, I don't even know who won the CIAA.
Help us out, Steve.
Yeah, who won the CIAA tournament? Just
do you even know, Steve?
But shout out to whoever did win the CIAA. You know, we'll mention them when we get a chance.
That's why they had the challenge system, G Boom. That's why they had the
yes,
challenge.
exactly.
And speaking of challenges,
yeah.
If y'all are into volleyball, and if you're not, I don't know why you're not, because volleyball is like the coolest sport to get into indoors. But you know, faster action than basketball and everything else. But if you understand the challenge system in volleyball, Coach Gokhan Yilmaz of Florida A&M can teach a master class of when to call a challenge, how to call a challenge, and how to win a challenge. I can count the number of times that Coach Gokhan Yilmaz has lost a challenge. Now, he did lose one in this championship match, but that was his one for the week.
Yeah. Fayetteville State won the 2025 CIAA volleyball champion. That just they swept 2-time defending champion Shaw. I'm reading that right here on the CIAA website on the interweb. So congratulations there. Okay, so we got the obligatory volleyball shout outs. Yes, we had video because, you know, it's just who we are, Steve. Come on now. I didn't have access to video from them other conferences.
Plus, we were both watching it this afternoon too.
Yeah, exactly. We were both watching it. So
instead of watching football.
The one time that we'll have anything glowing and good to talk about related to Florida A&M in the next 2 hours. So there you go.
Last thing on this FAMU volleyball championship. Why is it, Brian, that every time Florida A&M gets a new athletic director, they win a championship immediately after it?
You know what? I'm going to pull up the photos because I think I've got 4 championship photos with 4 different ADs, if I'm not mistaken. I do. I think I have 4 different ADs Well, hold on. Let me think. I know I got one with Angela from 24. Mike Smith was in this one. Let me see. Was Tiffany?
Tiffany was there for one of them.
Tiffany was there for one. And then, hold on, it might have been Mike Smith. So Mike Smith might have appeared in two.
You sure Courtney wasn't in one of them?
I gotta look. Courtney might have been in one of them. You're good. You're on something. He might have. Yeah, I gotta look at that. Okay. All right. Well, good stuff there. So look, on today's show, we're gonna get into a lot of things, right? We're gonna talk about the Division II playoff recaps involving five HBCUs that all played yesterday. Only two of them are advancing. And yes, as somebody saw for the second straight year, an HBCU is guaranteed to be playing in the Final Eight in the regional finals. We've also got the end of the MEAC season. MEAC football is over, and congratulations to the South Carolina State Bulldogs for winning back-to-back championships, their 20th MEAC title. And we got some interesting stats regarding Chinnis Berry that we'll get to. And so we'll kind of just the instant reaction of the MEAC season as that has come to an end. We've also pretty much the SWAC regular season is not officially over, but we do know who will be playing in the SWAC Championship Game.
The competitive portion is over.
The competitive
except
portion.
For the championships.
Right. All that's left is the petty portion of the regular season, which will occur in Itta Bena, Mississippi, and New Orleans, Louisiana. So that portion will be left. And then there have been some coaching news because it's already that time of the year where
this is the Ferocity Norman where to submit your application segment of our show. Shout out to Coach Ferocity Norman. Hopefully he get it. Hopefully he gets that interview that he's been long desired, especially at his alma mater.
Especially, right? There's a couple of institutions that could use a Ferocity Norman at their program. So order will be restored. It's funny that we got I love the fact that Steve is in here because, and I don't know, maybe somebody was just talking. There's no talk of Winston-Salem State not having football. I don't even know where somebody was like, yeah, the Winston-Salem State coach is not there. They may not be having football anymore. I'm like, what? I'm like, is Winston-Salem State not in the football business anymore? I'm like, what? So I quickly shut that down. There's too much history and pride for that to not happen. All right, so coming up here in this segment, bless you, Drew's dealing with some stuff. He's dealing with some stuff. I think our guy Hobbs is going to be joining us here with some as we get into this opening segment talking about the D2 football playoffs. So I don't know if Ja is. I know he's in the background, probably getting some stuff ready. So let's kind of get into a couple of these games, Drew. I want you to change your ID photo. See, I know Ja was using your account the other day because it throws me off. I need you to throw your photo back there somewhere.
No, I'm actually using Ja's account because of
your what?
Because I'm actually on Ja's account because of everything that went on the administrative side with our StreamYard last week.
But quietly, if you check your email, you should have access once again to your information.
I hadn't checked it yet, so
okay. I'm just letting you know. That. All right.
That's offline discussion for everybody, though.
Offline discussion, exactly. No need to go into details. But let's start with Albany State, Drew. We got to start with the Albany State Golden Rams out of the SIAC. The SIAC champions, the number one seed out of the Super Region 2, right? Taking on Valdosta State, an opponent that they're at least Coach Gray and the Albany State folks are familiar with. Just last season, Albany State opened their season, the 2024 season, at Valdosta State. Of course, that was probably a different Valdosta State because they were coached by now Prairie View A&M coach Tremaine Jackson. But Valdosta State came into this season with a record of 6-4 and had just won, shockingly, right, the what is it? The GSC?
Gulf South.
Gulf South. The Gulf South Conference, which might have knocked out some people. But just reading here from Golden Rams, ASUGoldenRams.com. The Albany State Rams delivered one of the most thrilling postseason performances in program history, defeating Valdosta State Blazers 35-30 in the first round of the NCAA Super Region 2 playoffs. In a matchup filled with momentum swings, explosive plays, and defining moments, the Golden Rams stood tall to earn their first playoff victory since 2010. I'm going to stop right here, Drew, because that's going to be a theme in this show. There are a lot of first since kind of things that I came across today. So there we go. There's the first one. The win also marks Albany State's first victory over Valdosta State since 2017's season opener. That ended an 8-year drought against the perennial power. So there's another first. With the victory, the Golden Rams advancing in the national playoffs for the first time in 14 years. There's a third first. And this, of course, under the leadership of head coach Quinn Gray, as Albany State improves to 11-1, 9-0, their only loss being to Gray's alma mater, Florida A&M. So right now, Albany State unbeaten in Division II games against Division II opponents. Albany State had to rally in this game. At halftime, they were down 23-21. You were at this game, Drew, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I'll just give the brief stuff, the stats, and let you kind of speak in and fill in the parts, that visuals. And obviously I wasn't there, but I can read the box score. Albany State was down 23-21 at half. Coming right at the start of the third quarter, Valdosta State, the opening kickoff, returned a kickoff 95 yards to go up 30-21. And so they got a 9-point lead in the third quarter right off the bat. It would be a little bit later in the third quarter, down by 9 points. Albany State's Isaiah Knowles would get a 21-yard touchdown run to cap a 5-play, 55-yard drive to cut the deficit to 2 points, 30-22, going into the fourth quarter. In the fourth quarter, Albany State would finally take the lead with 8:22 remaining at the end of a 10-play, 77-yard drive that took 4 minutes and 17 seconds. Jamil Williams with a 22-yard reception play from Isaiah Knowles, and Albany State would go up 35-30. Drew, what did you see in between in that you can fill in from the visual perspective there?
What I saw was a team that, despite the lack of playoff experience and playoff wins, knew how to win the game. The moment was not too big for them. As we may question as we go through some of these analysis, was the moment too big for some of our other teams that were in the Division II playoffs? But there were 2 times when, I'll be honest with you, I was sitting in the press box saying, here we go again. And what I say here we go again, the HBCUs not come into play. Let's start off with, on the first offensive snap of the game, deflected pass, ball goes out in and out the receiver's hands and is picked off by Valdosta State. What a way to start a game, Brian. But And now they got the ball on like the 20-some-odd yard line. I don't remember exactly where it was. But the Dirty Blue defense did their job. They held Valdosta State to 3 points in that possession. How many times have we seen that another team, especially in the playoffs, take the ball down and score?
Mm-hmm.
And then for Albany State to come back on the next drive and to score a touchdown. Like, yeah, you got us, but guess what? We all woke. We here and we came to play ball. Then, Brian, to open the second half of the game, the opening kickoff of the second half of the game goes back to the house, puts Valdosta State up by 2 scores at that point in time in the game, Brian. Once again, an opportunity for the Golden Rams to fold. They did not. They did not.
Mm-hmm.
We have not been able to say that a whole lot of times about our HBCUs in playoff football.
Right.
That's what the box score cannot tell you, Brian.
Yeah. Good point. Good point. In terms of the team stats, Albany State kind of controlled and dominated everything from an offensive perspective. They didn't have, I know Blue Jacket had mentioned something about 600. It wasn't quite 600. It was 530. 530 yards of total offense.
Had to put my butter back on, Brian.
I see. Excuse me, they held Valdosta to 283 yards of offense. Let me see. Let me go ahead and bring Ja in. I think Ja's ready. Ja, we got you now, my man. Ja might be doing just audio. Hold on.
Wrong one.
My bad.
Wrong one.
All right, my bad.
He's on there twice, Brian.
He's on 2 in there. What's up, Ja? Welcome on to the show. Hobbs, what's good?
Thank you for having me.
Man. Yeah, and there's somebody else in the background. Anyway, what's good, Ja?
Somebody who paid the bills.
Yeah, something like that. Ja, what's up? You got a couple of points you wanna get in regarding this Albany State game against Valdosta. What's your take there? What you saw?
So I really like Drew said about the defense. The defense really did come to play, especially in the second half. First half, they led up 223 yards and 3 touchdowns. Second half, Valdosta State didn't even cross 50 yards. And then they forced two turnovers as well, 2 forced fumbles, then the one touchdown. But the defense came to play. This is their 3rd best defense in the last 15 years or so. 11 points a game they've allowed all year, so this is nothing new for them. Well-balanced offense, 264 in the air, 266 on the ground. And running back Tiant Weiss, he had his most touches of the year this game, and he made them count, rushing for 134 yards, the second highest total of his career, actually. So big stage he came to play. And finally, one more point on the defensive side. They held Valdosta State's quarterback to his lowest passing completion percentage of the year when he's thrown over 10 passes, of course, but that's only been one game where he didn't. So secondary was there to play as well.
Great points. So again, Albany State advances to the semifinal round, where as they will meet, as you've already seen, they will meet a familiar foe in the next round. As I tell you, one of the 2 most under-talked about coaching jobs this season might be the job that Ron Dickerson has done at Benedict College, and he's done it quietly, right? As we saw the Wingate Wish, as Drew dubbed it. Benedict gave up 17 points in the first quarter. Now, I'm going to stop right there, fellas, because usually when you give up seven, I mean, that had to have brought all kinds of bad flashbacks for Benedict faithful in their previous 2 appearances in the playoffs, right? To give up 17 points in the first quarter, like Drew said, folks already instantly going to, oh man, are we prepared for this? What the heck? You know, and so to give up 17 points, and then you're down at halftime, 17-0. And
21-0 midway through the third quarter.
Yeah, 24 actually.
24-0. I'm sorry.
24-0 because right at the beginning of the third quarter, we talked about coming out of halftime, right? What does Wingate do? Wingate gets a pick 6.
Yeah.
And so now you're down 24-0, and it's like, oh man, what do we do? And I'll tell you, the real test of a championship team comes at that point in the ball game. And Benedict would score a little bit later in the third quarter with about a minute to go on a 5-yard pass from Darius Ocean to Malachi Jones to get their first points. Then the play that I saw this earlier, Drew, was the blocked field goal attempt. Was it a field goal attempt that turned into a touchdown?
Hold up, Brian. You need to back up.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, back me up.
The first touchdown occurred because of Benedict's defense. Wingate had not one, but 2 opportunities to put this game away. They were driving in the third quarter up 24-0 and had the ball in the red zone when Benedict picked them off in the end zone, Brian. That's what led to the first touchdown, Brian. Once again, something that the stat sheet doesn't point out. And here's the other thing. Although Darius Ocean did not start the game, Darius Ocean started the game, was relieved real early. Guess who threw that first touchdown pass?
It was Ocean.
It was Ocean. Ocean came off the bench because of what's his name? The quarterback JaH'son got hurt the play before. And then Ocean came in and proceeded to throw a touchdown pass the next play. And then JaH'son was able to come back and finish out the game. But yeah, now you can talk about the blocked field goal, which was the second opportunity Wingate had to put the game away. But it was blocked and returned for I think it was like a 90-some-odd yard touchdown, 85-yard touchdown. 95. I don't remember what the number was.
95, yeah.
Yes. So, which means they were inside the 10-yard line. Matter of fact, that field goal was essentially a PAT that was blocked.
It's been Benedict's special teams and defense all season, has it not?
Exactly.
All season.
Every game except one that they have won, they have scored a defensive or a special teams touchdown.
That's amazing. That's amazing. I don't know if, that's I don't know if that is a, who used to get a lot of credit for the way his special teams played was Frank Beamer at Virginia Tech. And they would always talk about Beamer ball and the fact that his special teams would always make plays. I don't know if it's Ron Dickerson or whoever is the special teams coach or just a combination of both. But I think that's going to be a great question that somebody is going to want to ask and have to ask of Dickerson, maybe coming up in this offseason stretch here, So with the score after the block return 24-13, the deficit is now 11. Benedict was
okay. Hold it right there. The special teams give us, and the special teams take up the weight also. After the punt, the block on that special teams play, and they go down and score the touchdown. Guess what they do not convert, Brian? They do not convert the PAT. Wide left, if I remember correctly.
Oh, yeah, the kick failed. Yeah. Kick failed.
You on mute there, Ja, if you was trying to say something. I saw your lips moving.
Oh no, I'm just agreeing with you.
All right.
And let me just say, hey, Blue Jacket, I'm just referencing that people called. I'm not calling anything about what Benedict is doing Beamer ball. What I'm referencing is the last college football team that I recall that had such a great impact. Their special teams had a great impact was Frank Beamer's team that was called Beamer ball. I don't know if you want to give it a name. I don't know, whatever you want to call what Ron Dickerson and Benedict are doing defensively and special teams. Please go ahead and coin it something. Let's get that going.
Dickerson's defense. I mean, you got Beamer ball, Dickerson's D. It don't roll off the tongue sexy, though.
It don't roll off the tongue just right. Just something something's just, it don't roll off the tongue the same. I'm not really sure that's gonna float too well, but I don't know. I don't know.
Not when you're around your mother. It doesn't.
No. What, baby? What? I'm like, no, mama.
What?
No, I'm just
go get your soap and wash out your mouth.
Anyway, with 3:36 to play in the fourth quarter, you spoke of JaH'son
Jensen Jackson.
I'm just reading right here. Charles Simmons, a 4-yard pass from JaH'son. Cut the deficit to 5. They went for 2 to try to cut it to 3. Failed on the 2-point conversion. That capped a 7-play, 50-yard drive. So with 3:36 to play, Benedict is down 5. The defense would have to get another stop, which they did, right? Which then forced the Wingate wish can we play that again, Drew? I don't know if we're going. I want to play the audio, and maybe we'll get blocked.
You got something on that, Ja? Did you have a chance to load your stuff? Because I know Ja was working on some stuff, so I'm gonna let him do what he does great. And for those who don't know, some of those great graphics that we run here on the Black College Sports Network across our multiple shows, you're looking at the creator of them, and it's not the 2 old dudes with the gray hair.
No, it's not. It's not. Got to give a quick shout out to former Jackson State quarterback Shedeur Sanders through his first NFL touchdown pass. Of course, he started his first game today in Las Vegas against the Raiders. Appropriately, a team that passed on him that probably should have drafted him. And how ironic, and I know that's going to be talked about all after this game, is how does it feel that you guys passed on Shedeur and he came in and the Browns are whooping y'all up? But anyway, John, you want to run is this the highlight package for the Benedict game? And there's the block kick, the pump fake, and then the reverse. Now, as Drew was talking, and he was saying that the pass was thrown by a former quarterback, by Benedict's quarterback from last season. So, I know HBCU Game Day had a great clip, and shout out to Game Day because I woke up this morning and
that was the first clip I saw of it.
Yeah, Sports Center ran it last night and this morning as part of their top plays of the weekend. It made the top 10 plays, and so they did that feed, and then they showed the Game Day feed, which was a sideline view. So from the sideline, you could see how pretty a ball was thrown across the field, and then the running back coming right towards the camera. And then, of course, you saw the tackle attempt, which he spun out of the receiver. And give you guys. And so, again, that's Malik Mullins who caught the pass, JaH'son, who threw the ball.
Yeah, and to the point of Trey Simmons, when I talked to Coach Dickerson at Media Day, he was naming all the quarterbacks he had, and he said he still wanted to keep Simmons around because of his athleticism. And I also do want to give a shout out to JaH'son because, last year he was QB1 before going down with injury in the lane game. So for him to bide his time and just wait for another opportunity to go out there and start and, be a major part of a big game.
Yeah. So congratulations to Benedict on winning that playoff game. Let me see. We talked about Benedict scoring 25 unanswered points. It's their first postseason victory in school history. I mean, this is how wild this is. Benedict College, right? Drew, when they were making that run with Chennis Berry, I mean, they were making all kinds of first several game winning streak, first unbeaten conference season, first
unbeaten regular season.
First regular season. They go unbeaten in the regular season as well as the conference season.
Yeah. You can't go unbeaten in the regular season without going unbeaten in the conference season, Brian. It's just like mathematically impossible.
Anyway, all right, I got you. But just all the records, but the one thing that Chennis Berry couldn't do or didn't do, I don't want to say couldn't do because it's not necessarily him, but it is what it is. He was unable to get the playoff win, even as a 1 seed in a region, right? And so here, Benedict is what seed was Benedict? Was an at-large?
Yeah, they're at-large.
Yes.
An at-large bid. They get in, and it takes a miracle play for them to actually get it. I mean, how awesome is that? How amazing is that? Right. So I'm just seeing here, just kind of reading through. Benedict is now 10-2. And if I'm not mistaken, this would be the third season in 4 years that Benedict has had 10 or more win seasons. So that part right there, man. And so, of course, it sets up a Region 2 matchup in the semifinals between Albany State and Benedict. It's not only a regular season rematch, it's a rematch of the SIAC Championship. John, do you recall what were the scores? I know it was a closer championship game than the first matchup, right?
Yes, it was. If I'm not mistaken, it was 22-16 or
22-16 in the championship game, 31-3 in the first contest. And Brian, I got to cut something off before people even say something about it. Yes, we know we got two HBCUs matching up against each other in round 2. But anybody who knows anything about tournament brackets or anything like this, it had to happen in this round when you've got 3 HBCUs in there. They have to play in subsequent rounds against each other, especially if they don't play in the opening round against each other. So they were not trying to get rid of one of us. It was going to happen no matter what if everybody handled their business. In round 2.
I don't. So the games will be available on ESPN Plus. It's a 1:00 kickoff, Albany, Georgia, at Albany State University. I want to encourage any and everybody, if you're in the vicinity and can make it, it'd be a good trip.
Great atmosphere there.
Yeah, I mean, I would go if I wasn't already committed to be going to Mississippi, but I would be there. I would not be surprised to see Drew or some other folks. Definitely.
No, I'm already on the books for that game.
Oh, you're already there. There you go.
I'm already on the books.
Sounds good. I think what we'll talk about later on, whether it be this show or throughout the week, you went from a 31-3 game to a 22-16 game. Here comes the cliche. I'm not going to say it, but somebody's going to say it.
Third time's the charm.
Yeah, see, I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to even say that or the whole thing. It's hard to beat a team 3 times. Really, it's not. But it sounds cliche to say. I'm not going to say it, but it'll be out there all week. So do like this. Put it on your bingo card and take a drink every time you hear somebody's show talk about it's hard to beat somebody 3 times. That because I guarantee you're going to hear it. I'm guessing over under about 15 times this week.
But here's the other thing, Brian. The comeback is there's a reason that team has lost to them twice.
Well,
you gotta have a comeback for it.
Yeah, okay. You're right. I don't right now, but it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to kind of watch and see the gap close from what, doing the math, 28 to 6. I mean, in theory, we should have a coin toss game, shouldn't we? So those are the 2 teams that advanced. But let's talk about the other 3 teams that didn't advance. And first, we'll mention Kentucky State. Kentucky State, they were the number 6 seed in the playoffs. It's been a historic season for the Kentucky State Thoroughbreds. Most wins since before anyone on this show was born or probably even thought of. But it comes to an end after they lost on Saturday 45-24 to Newberry, who was the number 3 seed. Kentucky State, they did outgain Newberry 154-126, averaging 5.7 yards per carry. Chad Elzy Jr. led all rushers with 96 yards and 2 touchdowns. Jalen Middleton averaged 7 yards per carry for a total of 43. Let me see. Statistically, anything statistically out of this game, or was just the case of Newberry being a team that had been in the playoffs? Playoff experience versus a team with no experience.
I wouldn't say that. Kentucky State showed fight in the second half. They were down 31-10 at halftime, then ended up cutting it to 7. So I think Newberry let their foot off the gas. Then once they started feeling third, they got right back on it. And yeah, it's a good building block for Kentucky State because first time ever, Coach Huggins, Coach of the Year, they rode a 5-game winning streak to close out last season, and he said he wanted to keep that momentum going into this year, and they seem to do that. So I think there's nothing to hang their hat about. Newberry's obviously a tough team, so I think they can just keep building off of this, especially, and like you pointed out, Chad Elzy Jr., that's a freshman. He had two big touchdowns on the big stage. Denham Johnson, their starting quarterback, he's coming back next year. He's only a junior. They might have to work some things around the edges, maybe get some new weapons, but they have a tough offensive line. And their defense, they really hunkered down towards the end of the year outside the Newberry game. I think the first couple games they were allowing about 34 points a game, and throughout the last 5 or 6, they only allowed 14 points a game. So I think this, like I said, it's a stepping stone.
Slow down there, young fella. What you said would have been accurate 5 years ago, but in today's transfer portal, I don't count on anyone coming back until they're enrolled in school. Not only are they enrolled in school in August, I need them to go to the first day of classes.
I was thinking the same thing when when you said he was a freshman. First thought was, he's gone. He's gone. He's gone. His mentions, his DMs, his former high school coach, they getting calls. Yeah. They getting calls from people like, hey, how did we not know about this guy? Any chance that he'd like to come up and play at the FCS level? Might be some people at the FBS level talking.
Yeah. There's always hope.
Brian, don't get crazy. It is very rare that you'll see somebody go from a D2, and I'm not just talking about HBCUs, just a D2 in general, to FCS.
Well,
You got it. I didn't say it's impossible. I just said it's rare.
Look, it is rare, but it's not impossible, Drew. You know how I like to live in that, anything is possible world.
Yeah, Allen just had a defensive end, had 13.5 sacks this year. He just committed to Texas Tech.
There you go. Allen University?
Yes. Amari Fleming.
And look, don't be surprised if what's the kid from out of Livingston?
He's
Livingstone.
too.
Yeah. Oh, well, he's in the portal. So I mean, trust me, there's guys that's going to be looking. So it can happen. It can happen. But anyway, congratulations to Coach Felton Huggins for the season. Another coach not talked about. And look, we can do a top 5 most underappreciated coaches poll. Definitely there have been some great coaching jobs that aren't getting talked about, and maybe other coaches who are getting more burned because of the school that they're at. I'll just leave it at that. Okay. And then last but certainly not least, probably the most disappointing outcomes that occurred had to be what we saw from our CIAA teams. Johnson C. Smith, who was hosting, it was the first time since forever for them, maybe a first time ever. And then Virginia Union, who Johnson C. was hosting Frostburg State. They lost 21-7. Virginia Union lost at home to California PA. Of course, we remember Virginia Union making a run all the way to the regional finals last year. Drew, as we talked about this, you asked a very interesting question. The fact that neither one of these teams played a Region 1 opponent in the non-conference, and that this being the first year in which the CIAA moved from Region 2 into Region 1, what kind of factor might that have played in this game?
Well, just taking a look at it, Johnson C. Smith played 2 Region 2 opponents in their non-conference. They played Morehouse. They played Valdosta State. And then technically they did play a Region 1 opponent, that being Elizabeth City State, which is a conference opponent. It just did not count. So, okay. Now here's the one thing we have to keep in mind, Brian. These football schedules are set multiple years in advance, and I guarantee you that this football schedule was set before they knew that this switch would possibly happen. Virginia Union, in their non-conference schedule, they face Miles, Super Region 2, Edward Waters, Super Region 2, and Johnson C. in the half-counted game. That was that game that counted for one team but didn't count for the other team for their 3 non-conference matchups. So they played all Super Region 1 opponents. 2 opponents. Them going into Super Region 1 for the first time, not having faced a Super Region 1 opponent probably in a couple of years. Playoffs is a totally different level. And teams that are perennial powers, such as what Union has done these last couple of years, such as what Bowie did when they were making those runs in the late teens, they have to build their teams with 2 things in mind. What do I need to do to win my conference? And then once I win my conference, what do I need to do to advance? I think this was that learning lesson for these teams, Brian, in the CIAA.
Good point. Ja, what do you want to
add? For Johnson C., it was just, unfortunately, Durham played his worst game of the season, but I'm not going to say it was all on him. He got sacked 5 times, and he hadn't seen that kind of pressure since his first matchup with Union. He got sacked 4 times in that matchup. Most sacks given up of the season. So can't really put it all on him. Let's see. And he threw 2 interceptions because of that. Running game, almost non-existent. Only 49 yards, 2.7 yards a carry, and they had another turnover. So those are 2 things you can put it on. Turnovers, O-line play.
Johnson C. Smith found themselves down 14-0 at the half. As you mentioned, they were able to cut the deficit to 7 in the third quarter on a Kelvin Durham pass, touchdown pass. But Frostberg would put the go-ahead and decisive touchdown with less than a minute to go, 56 seconds, and they would funnel off. That would be the cap of a 9-play, 63-yard drive in the final. That took 3 minutes and 38 seconds. They won 21-7. Johnson C finishes the season 10-2, 8-1 in conference play, and of course, more importantly, CIAA champions. So they do get a chance to at least they've ended their season with a ring, with a title of something, some sorts, right? For Virginia Union, this was their 4th consecutive NCAA playoff appearance. They end their season 9-3. They got off to a tough start. They were down 14-0 in the first quarter, trailed 20-17 at the half. It could have been a little bit more had it not been for a late field goal. They had a chance, really, had they been able to cap off that closing drive with a touchdown. I mean, hell, they could have actually taken the lead there at halftime. Nobody scored in the third quarter. In the fourth quarter, Frostberg would actually add a touchdown with 9:53 to play. On the ensuing kickoff, Virginia Union would return it 95 yards. So once again, a 3-point deficit. And then Union unable to finish off the game there at the end. Just reading a quote here from Dr. Alvin Parker. Hats off to California. Those guys have a history of winning, but today's game is something for us to build on. We depend on Curtis Allen for that average yardage. He had about 6.1 yards per carry today, and his 128 yards came in only 3 quarters because he didn't touch the ball in the first quarter. If we could have come out of the game a little better, then his numbers would have been even more impressive.
You got to talk about Curtis Allen's. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead, John.
I was going to say, I know came out with a loss, but you got to talk about the season by Curtis Allen. Rushed for over 100 yards in every game. He finished the season 2,409 yards and 30 touchdowns. I mean,
what was the total number again? What was the total number?
2,409 yards and 30 touchdowns.
2,409, 2,409. Let me just add, have you looked at where does he compare to it? That's how. What's the gap between him and number 2 in the NCAA Division II? I mean, I don't know if you happen to have it. If not,
I'm thinking it was about 400 yards, 400 or 500 yards.
That person's gonna probably have to get to the championship game in order to pass.
And I don't even think that team's in the playoffs, actually.
Okay, so see, it was bringing me to the point of saying, Drew, as it relates to the Harlan Hill.
Speaking of, I'm gonna cut you off. Harlan Hill nominations closed yesterday.
Oh,
so I will be doing my voting this week.
Dare to share?
Well, I've got to see who the nominee list has not come out yet.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Well, that'll be interesting to see, how that goes down. But again, congratulations, Virginia Union finishes the season 9-3. I gotta say, probably a little bit disappointing, even though individually Curtis Allen had a great season. They had a great run. But then at the end of the season, it's almost the mirror opposite of what happened to Johnson C. Smith last year, right? I mean, you had a great run, and then at the end, you lose your final 2 games, and then just like that, it's over. So, but still, congratulations. I'll be asking interesting questions about the future of Dr. Alvin Parker here later on, but I think given some other openings that are happening in the FCS level, I think there's a school in that state who would be crazy, absolutely crazy, not to be making that man your first call. And what helps is given who his AD is. As I'm just saying. If you connect the T, if you know, you know. So there you go, Zach. There you go. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Ja, anything else you want to add regarding the Division II playoffs or the teams in Division II before we get ready to take a break?
Just gonna lastly say, like I said, for the 3 teams that lost, absolutely nothing to hang their head about. They're a part of history now. As simple as that. Most teams to ever make the Division II playoffs, and honestly, this is only the second time that we've had multiple HBCUs win a playoff game in the same year. Last year being the first with Miles and Virginia Union. So, it's amazing that we get to witness this, in my opinion. So nothing to hang their head about.
That's what's up. Good stuff, Ja. I know we're working on our BCSN Division II players of the years and our awards for that. I got you here. Ja has the conglomerate of BCSN talent. Have they been doing their part to submit their names?
No, not everyone. But
I know. Hold on. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I know a couple people who have it. That's why I said that, hoping that you don't close the balloting off just yet.
It's all good. I think we're gonna get it together before the end of the season.
All right. Don't close this off just yet, John. Don't close this off just yet. We still got time. Hopefully, we still got time. Don't close this off just yet. So, but all right, man. John, let people know where they can find you, where they can follow you, all your great work and the content that you put out on socials. Let them know where they can find you.
All right. You can find me on all platforms at Just JaH Sports. It's just JAH Sports. I'm working on being more active on Facebook. I'm a younger guy. I'm mostly on Instagram and TikTok.
Who's on Facebook anymore?
I'm only on Facebook for my mom. So, but yeah, Just JaH Sports everywhere. Thanks for having me. It was good to be here.
Yeah,
you got a spot over here. Heck,
yeah, we got to get you more often, man.
Bro, you got the log in, so it ain't like you don't know how to get on here and join us.
Exactly. Good stuff. You always got a spot here, Ja.
Yes,
so anytime you want to jump in and, we love to have you. I told you, love to have you work with us more and do more with us in any way possible, man. All right.
All right. Thanks.
All right. Let's take our first break of this show. Amazing. But coming up on the other side, we'll get into talking about the close of the MEAC season, get a little bit wrap on the important parts of the SWAC season, and then maybe get into releasing the BCSN top 5 for the Division I level. Only Division I level. We'll see if there's any changes, like the massive changes that were on Dr. Cavill's poll this morning that just sent the chat rooms and everybody ridiculously falling over themselves. So we'll see if the computers value wins and losses any different than the pollsters do. We'll find out. BCSN SportsWrap, Bryan A.D, Ja. We'll be back on the other side.
You're looking for the latest information on Southern University. When you're looking for the latest information on Southern University sports, the Southwestern Athletic Conference, and HBCU athletics, there's only one place to go. Tune in to the Carlos Brown Show, exclusively on the Black College Sports Network.
Planning an event? From weddings to corporate functions, CMJ Events LLC brings over 15 years of experience to make your vision a reality. Based in Metro Atlanta and serving statewide, even internationally, we provide versatile event planning and authentic catering cuisines tailored to your needs. Whether it's pre-game meals for student athletes, fundraisers, weddings, corporate functions, CMJ Events LLC is your one-stop solution for exceptional service and unforgettable food. Our diverse culinary heritage means we cater to all cultural tastes, dietary needs, and food restrictions, making every meal uniquely yours. Let's make your next event unforgettable. Visit us on all social media at CMJ Events LLC or email us at cmjeventsllc@gmail.com. Also give us a call at 404-664-3882 so that we can start planning now.
College football fans, a champion will rise in Atlanta on December 13th. MEAC champion, SWAC champion, the 10th Cricket Celebration Bowl, crowning an HBCU national champion. For event and ticket information, visit thecelebrationbowl.com.
Since 2002, Empowerment Resources, Inc., a nonprofit organization, has empowered more than 1,500 youth and adults in Duval and surrounding counties. Through its programs, Journey into Womanhood, Girls Mentoring, Life Skills for Teens, and Parenting Education Coaching. To get involved with programs, volunteer, or donate, visit www.empowermentresourcesinc.org. Follow us on social media, facebook.com/empowerment.resources and instagram.com/empowermentJAX.
For over 30 years, HBCU Image has been more than just an apparel store. We've been a movement, a statement, a legacy. We celebrate the pride, the purpose, and the culture that make historically black colleges and universities legendary. HBCU Image, a Kenny T's company.
ESPN Events presents Red Lobster Band of the Year. Returning to Atlanta on December 12th, 4 bands will qualify for the big stage, where 2 national champions will be crowned. Follow us for rankings updates throughout the season, and join us on December 12th. For event and ticket information, visit band.
All right, welcome back to the BCSN SportsWrap. Bryan and A.D. here. I know some of you guys are just now joining the show. Appreciate you jumping in. I know, like my guy EA, who just joined. EA asked a question. Well, EA, since you asked the question, let me go ahead and tell you how that game ended. Give me another chance to throw that little nugget here as we start up this second hour of the show. Live from SWAC TV earlier this afternoon, the Al Lawson Center of the 2025 SWAC Volleyball Championship.
Good save by Felice and a dig by Harris. This one goes up. Brown once again making a save, and this one going over. Unbelievable play. This one dig up by Brown. On the floor. It's over. Florida A&M. They have won the 2025 Southwestern Athletic Conference Tournament.
And there it is, EA. I only did that Blue Jacket because, you know, EA is a good friend of the show, and he seems to have must have been on the road traveling in areas where he didn't have a phone, or he's not following us on social media. But anyway, Florida A&M, your 2025 SWAC volleyball champions. Coppin State won the MEAC volleyball championships. Fayetteville State won the CIAA volleyball championships, and Spring Hill won the SIAC volleyball championships. All those championships were won and played either yesterday or today. So we only have video for FAMU's win because, the dynasty, 5 consecutive SWAC tournament championship games, 4 titles in 5 years. So there we go. And exactly, Edwin. An 8 versus a 7 seed. I mean, what a tournament. So congratulations to Southern on being the 7 seed and getting or advancing as the 7 seed to the championship game. Very rare that happens. In fact, that had not happened in the previous years in which FAMU advanced to the championship. It was either the 1, 2, or 3 seed that played in the championship game. This was the first time in these 5 years of the SWAC tournament, with FAMU being a part of it, that we had, teams that were 7 and 8 playing. But again, the 7 and 8 seeds were all tied. Matter of fact, the 5, 6, 7, and 8 seeds were all 9 and 7, and it took a tiebreaker, a 14 tiebreaker, in order to really determine the seeding. And it just so happened that Florida A&M, of the 4 teams that were 9 and 7, had the worst record among the other 3 opponents. And it just was fortunate that they ended up playing Prairie View, the number 1 seed, because that's who they wanted. They had planned and had been practicing, getting ready to face Prairie View. So, sorry, Prairie View. You can enjoy that regular season title and those individual awards and coaches awards and all that stuff. But hey, you got football. You still got football hope. There you go. All right. Let's get into talking about the close of the 2025 MEAC football season, which has come to an end with a familiar face standing on the top of the hill. None other than Big Bad Shennisberry and the Big Bad Bulldogs of South Carolina State, who won their 20th MEAC title on Saturday in a basically a de facto MEAC championship game, Drew, against Delaware State. Against Delaware State, man, and they pretty much handled Delaware State, man. 28-17 was the final score of that contest. Any initial thoughts on, one of the things that we were talking about, Drew, as it relates to South Carolina State, is just doing some comparisons or just some thought, not really deep diving into it, but just some thoughts about this South Carolina State team of 2025 versus 24. Coach Conference undefeated. I don't, how many wins has it now been, Drew, for Shennisberry? You did the tallying here.
30.
How many wins?
30 consecutive, going back to 2021.
2021, and that's his last 2 games in his first year at Benedict. Every SIAC game in his second year and his third year. That's
correct.
Conference championship games. Then, of course, being 5-0 last year in the MEAC, 5-0 this year in the MEAC. And another little thing I found interesting about South Carolina State's run, Drew, is he has not lost a home game at Oliver Dawson Stadium. Has not lost a home game. 5-0 each year. I mean, talk about keeping the home folks happy. Another interesting little nugget. Now that South Carolina State has won the MEAC, they're going to their 3rd Celebration Bowl. They join 3 other schools that have been to the Celebration Bowl 3 times. Let me see if you guys in the chat can quickly name the 3 other schools that have been to the Celebration Bowl 3 times. let's see who can be the first person to name the 3 schools that have been to the Celebration Bowl 3 times. And while I'm waiting on you guys to load those into the message group, the other thing we can say is that last season, South Carolina State finished their season 9-3. Well, currently, Drew, they're 9-3, chasing that elusive 10th win. And more importantly, with that 10th win would come a Celebration Bowl championship and probably a Black College National Championship. Let's see. Blue Jackets, not quite. This is outside of. Yeah, there we go. I think I just seen it right. No, this is outside of South Carolina State, folks. So other than South Carolina State, who are the 3 other schools? And so it's been now, again, there have been 4 schools that have been to the Celebration Bowl at least 3 times. So outside of South Carolina State, who are the other 3? You guys are dancing around 2 out of 3, 2 out of 3, 2 out of 3, 2 out of 3. Again, there's a total of 4. There we go. EA's got it. South Carolina State joins North Carolina A&T, Alcorn State, and Jackson State. Of course, A&T being 3-0, Jackson State being 1-2, and Alcorn being 0-3. And right now, South Carolina State is 1-1. So, they'll either join. Now, how many multi-year? So is A&T the only multi-year Celebration Bowl champion, Drew?
What you mean, multiple repeat champion?
Somebody that's won more than one Celebration Bowl. I think so.
A&T has 4.
Yeah.
Grambling has 1.
Yeah.
That's 5. That was pre-pandemic.
South Carolina State has
South
1.
Carolina State has 1. That's
Jackson
6.
State
Central has 1. Central won next.
North Carolina Central has 1.
7. Florida A&M
has 1. Yeah.
And Jackson State. You are correct, Brian.
Yeah. So, yeah, there we go.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. So there's a little nugget. There's a little trivia nugget for you. If South Carolina State can get the win, actually, if this is a big if because it has to play out, if the school in Mississippi were to get to the game, somebody would join North Carolina A&T as the multi-year winner, the second multi-year winner of the Celebration Bowl. But I mean, let's pump the brakes. There's a lot to happen before that day comes. So let's not jump too far ahead. Okay, as we close the MEAC season, obviously Delaware State season kind of ends abruptly. Tough loss for Delaware State. Delaware State really gave up a touchdown every quarter to South Carolina State. Just kind of looking at the team stats, Delaware State was able to rush the ball 439 net yards, Drew. That's amazing that you can run the ball 439 yards on 47 attempts. That's a 9.3 average, right? And somehow you got 2 rushing touchdowns from it. But, what really hurt Delaware State is the passing game. 4 interceptions. I wasn't following the entire game, but You can't win a ball game when the turnovers are 4-1. It's very hard to win a championship game that way. And one of those interceptions turned into a pick six. So, uncharacteristic. How would you grade the year for DeSean Jackson, Drew? How would you grade it overall?
Oh, he gets a solid A. He would have got an A+ had he won the MEAC, but he definitely gets an A.
Yeah.
There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that.
Yeah, that's a lot of A+. They were predicted sixth. Yeah, predicted sixth, finished second.
DeSean Jackson is that kid who you would have saw in the class and like, we need to take you to this other class and see if you can get tested for the gifted class.
I'm curious, and I don't know the history here. I'm curious about the returners, what the depth is on this roster in terms of Caden Bennett, their quarterback, Marquise Gillis, James Jones. I don't confess to know offhand how many of those guys are in their last year of eligibility. But if 2 out of 3 of those guys are coming back, I think they're going to be in a good position next year. And will have the experience of this season under them, right? Interesting question here. Is it a letdown that the MEAC did not have an additional team to play in the postseason? I mean, that only team could have been who? Delaware State, right? I mean, I don't know. Central.
But Delaware State didn't have enough FCS wins.
Right.
Keep in mind that Delaware State defeated 2 Division II opponents this year. Yeah.
North Carolina Central would have been the only potential team that could have. But, they lost a couple of FCS games earlier in the season that played against them, I think, if I recall. Let me see if I can look at their schedule real quick. They lost to New Hampshire. Yeah, New Hampshire was really that. I wonder if New Hampshire was the loss that you might say hurt them the most or hurt their chances the most. Because certainly you can't say they were expected to be Old Dominion, who was an FCS, who was an FBS school. They lost 54-6. But the New Hampshire game, the year they went to the playoffs, Drew, if I'm not mistaken, that was the year they did beat New Hampshire on the road. So yeah, it was what it was, right? They certainly weren't helped by schools, which you don't have any control of this, do you really? I mean, Florida A&M didn't have the kind of season that helps you in your strength of schedule. No. North Carolina A&T certainly didn't have the kind of schedule that would help you in your strength of schedule.
Definitely not.
East Texas A&M kind of did not. Southern did not. I mean, you schedule who you got, and you just kind of, it is what it is. But I mean, I don't know. I can't say it's a letdown, to be honest with you, Quasi-Free. I can't say it's a letdown because the conference is what the biggest thing that the MEAC has working for them and against them is that they do have 7 games, 7 non-conference games. What the schools choose to do with those 7 and how they perform is, I think, what hurts the conference, right? I mean, out of the 7, they're probably all going to play at least one paycheck game.
And so one Division 2.
And one Division 2. So what are you doing in the other 5 games? So, for example, North Carolina Central went 4-1 in their other FCS games. You got to go 5-0. Honestly, you got to go 5-0. North Carolina Central season ends at 8-4. If they had won that 9th game, maybe, but then again, you lost to the top 2 teams in the conference, Dale State and South Carolina State, and Dale State's not going anywhere. So, good season for North Carolina Central. Not the season I think many of us thought they could have or would have. What's interesting is at home, Drew, they were 2-3 at home, North Carolina Central. 2-3 at home. 5-1 on the road. So tough break. Yeah, that's tough for tough break for Central. The other and then obviously the other MEAC headline or the other little MEAC nugget that I wanted us to mention and just talk about, Norfolk State closing their season with a horrible loss to Howard, 44-15. They finished the season 1-11, having lost 10 games in a row. The last Norfolk State win this season came in week 2, where they defeated Virginia State in overtime. That was the second game of the season. So while the attendance numbers are being wildly praised,
which they should,
they should. And the interest in the area has grown in Norfolk State. I got to ask you, Drew, how does Mike Vick correct the ship? I mean, there's nowhere to go but up at this point. So that's the one positive thing. But what kind of things do you think or foresee that Mike Vick could do to really change the trajectory of this program?
Brian, there's only one thing that you can do. You got to get the portal, and you've got to find you about 50, 60 athletes. You got to go on the coaching block and hire some coaches. It's real simple. Get you some kids, coach them up. Nobody's going to feel sorry for you. Nobody's going to give you any more sympathy because you played in the league and you have a name. You had your year of grace. Now you got to go get a dub, my brother.
So that's what this is. Is that what we're calling this year? The year of grace for Mike Vick?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
What else do you want to say it is?
No, I mean, I just didn't know, do you grade on a curve with him? I mean, it's hard to rule, do you rule everything he did this year with an F? I mean, do you say it's an I, an incomplete,
The question is, I guess you could grade it on the curve. It's the people who write those checks. Are they graded on the curve?
Good point. And then the other 2 schools in the MEAC that I think are head scratchers. What do you do if you're Howard and Morgan State? Neither school was – no. So here's the interesting thing. Morgan was predicted 3rd or 4th, but they had the preseason offensive and defensive player of the year, right? They finished 4-8, finished in 5th place. For Howard is now 2 seasons from that Celebration Bowl. And I don't think Howard has gone over 500 yet in Larry Scott's tenure.
Yeah, because that was a 500 season.
500, right? So they have not gone over 500. But Larry Scott has probably stabilized the program.
Definitely.
And I wonder at 5-7, and you know, and I learned so much this year about what Howard has and what they can and can't do. I just don't know if Howard's in the business, in the football business.
What are the academics when you're talking about a Howard?
Well, the thing about
and the
Howard,
reason I'm saying that, are you graduating these kids, or these kids who are coming and transferring in, or they leaving with a Howard degree? That's maybe a bigger evaluation in their instance than wins and losses.
I mean, can't you do both? Look at North Carolina Central. I'm going to use North Carolina Central as the example. They got a 1,000 APR this past season.
No offense to North Carolina Central, Brian. No offense to North Carolina Central.
But I'm going to offend you. Go ahead.
How hard is it to get into Central compared to how hard is it to get into Howard? Here's the thing. Howard is in a unique situation. You're either a freshman or a grad transfer coming into Howard. They rarely take sophomores, juniors, and seniors on transfers. Very unique dynamic. That's why I say you have to evaluate him based on those dynamics.
It's possible. Schools, that's a great point. I'm glad you said this, Blue Jacket. Schools like Vandy, Georgia Tech, Notre Dame even have held on to their high academic standards and still found a way. Even schools like some of them who didn't allow transfers. And that's one of the things that I think is hurting Howard. And, you know, I saw someone say, what's the alumni measurement? You know, at some point, the alumni are either going to be okay with being middle of the road, just an average football team, or they're going to spend all that great money that they have and really kind of – and let me ask this. If you're – okay, so let's look at the coaching situations. I'm not – you know, this is maybe for another show, maybe next week. But if you're Larry Scott, I mean, and this is why I said this is interesting for Howard and Morgan to me. Larry Scott and Damon Wilson, I think, are good quality coaches in maybe a bad football place. I just don't know. I mean, I know there's a lot of money coming into Morgan. I just don't know if it's going to translate into football success. I don't know if they're going to provide the football program and the athletic department with more resources. I don't know. And I'm wondering, outside of the few talking heads that are very active on social, if there's enough Morgan and Howard fans that care enough about football to want to be in the football business.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I think they care more about their success on the hardwood, both of those institutions.
Okay. Hey, that's if that's what it is, okay. If that's what it is, that's what it is.
But speaking of people who care about success on the gridiron, Brian, we've got to talk about the other they did what play.
Yeah, let's jump over into the SWAC for sure. For sure. That's a good transition. Let's jump over into the SWAC. We got a champion now. We got a champion in the East. As Jackson State I don't know, survived.
We almost did not have a champion.
Overcame adversity. I don't know.
Brian.
Whatever you want to describe what that was on Saturday night. Jackson State survived the Soul Bowl.
Just stop talking, Brian. Let's just go to the clip, Brian.
All right, let's explain what we're going to play first, Drew, because final score, Jackson State won 27-21. But it wasn't easy.
This was the play that had everybody on the ledge.
All right, let's go. Set this up, Drew. Set it up. What do we got?
All they need, they just achieved the first down. It is 1st and 10. And they just need 2, possibly 3 Ds to get out of this game. Now, pay attention to Coach. Pay attention to Coach T.C. Taylor. Victory formation, game is over. Coach takes off his headset.
Hey, give the headset.
Headset is off.
Yeah, he's done. This should be a cakewalk right here.
Victory formation, everybody.
Oh, yeah. That's why you keep a man back right there.
Here we go.
The officials are walking it in. Everybody, uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
What the hell?
Uh-oh.
What the hell just happened?
What the hell is going on out here?
What the hell is going on out there?
Notice the
Alcorn
time.
State comes up with the ball.
Here we go. Let's see it again. Oops. 5-hole.
Lord have mercy. Freshman.
Watch TCU's.
Oh my God. Oh my God. That is painful. I don't wish that on anybody. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, Jackson State. TC Taylor, you did not deserve that. Oh, man. How is that even possible? Yeah.
And now, hold on. Here's the next play that you got to pay attention to. I'm advancing this, Brian, but you make your comments while I go through this.
Well, that was the end. Okay, so that was the play before the end. So I was wondering, like, how did Alcorn State get set up to be able to heave not 1 but 2 Hail Marys, right? Okay.
So here we go, Brian. 32 seconds left. Obviously, I can't play the audio because we don't want to get flagged. Probably still gonna get flagged, but
right. Hopefully
anyway,
it's not long.
Watch. I believe this is the play, Brian, where Jackson State went to go get the Charmin, Brian. They almost crapped on themselves.
Oh, man. Alabama State's watching this game probably going nuts at this point.
No, it's not this play. It's the next play.
It's not this play?
Okay. 35. They get the first down. So the ball's on the 38-yard line. They're going to clock it.
This looks strangely like another game. This looks strangely like another game.
No, they're not going to clock it.
There's a guy who's still coming back.
Okay.
Oh, flag on the play. Did the guy get stationary?
Let's go back and look at that again.
Did the guy get stationary before? Did he get stationary before the ball was snapped?
Watch number 4. The rule is he has to come in. He's faking the clock. They're going to actually run this play.
Where's 4?
4's coming in. He gets behind the line of scrimmage.
He's set.
That is questionably close to a 1,001 count.
Oh, they're saying he wasn't set there.
Exactly.
Ooh, that's some home cooking.
One more time.
That's home cooking.
Here we go. He's coming back. 1,000. We didn't get to what? We got 1,000.
That's horrible. That's questionable. That's questionable. Given how far that guy had to run, I thought he came stationary and held his spot. You know, whatever.
But
all right.
But here's the thing, Brian. If the quarterback holds it for one more beat,
the quarterback should have seen that. You're right.
Did you see where Jackson? Do you see where Alabama State has the ball, Brian?
Alcorn has the ball. Yeah,
they have the ball inside the 20.
Inside the 20. Yeah. With how many seconds left? About 8 or 9 seconds left. That's easily 2 plays.
Here's the other thing.
2 plays.
And I'm gonna put it on here. Look at the clock. 9 seconds.
9 seconds.
Look at the fact that Alcorn State. Look at the little line under the 1, Brian. That is the indicator of a timeout.
Oh, that's right, the timeout. So if they didn't have the timeout, that's a
10-second runoff.
Game over.
Game over.
Wow.
That is how we got to the 2 Hail Marys, Brian.
Jesus. And so then you have the 2 Hail Marys, which the first one, give credit to the DBs from Jackson State for being where they were supposed to be and doing what they were supposed to do, which was to knock the ball down as it was heaved into the end zone. And it hit the ground. And so the clock operator, look, the genius of being at home is that the home clock operator knows how to let the clock run. This happened in the Alabama State game. They let the clock run, and fortunately it got stopped. All right, so here we go. This is the Hail Mary
1.
Hail Mary 1. Great job of getting out of the way. Heaves it. Watch the clock. There was easily a second or two, and Coach Thomas knows. He's like, whoa.
1 second.
Coach Thomas, Cedric Thomas is like, 1 second. Get out of here. There's 1 second on the clock.
Wait a minute.
And instantly.
There you go, Brian. Fireworks.
Oh, the fireworks. Oh, ingenious. Hey, you know what? That look, you saw that look by TC Taylor? He's like, oh, not this again. Because that instantly had my thoughts going to, man, they just went through this in the Alabama State game.
Yes. So for the second time, they've had time put back on the clock.
But these were legitimate calls, though. This wasn't like you got robbed. So I hope there's no Jackson State fans thinking you got robbed. You didn't get
robbed. Here's the slow motion replay.
This is perfect replay. Should have been down 2 seconds. Should have been 2 seconds on the clock.
You give reaction time. I can go with the what?
Yeah.
And now here's your final Hail Mary.
Oh, well, sure, he was trying to run. He was trying to influence the runoff. Of course. That's what any good coach would do. Like, no. There's no time on the clock. No. You know, hell, because, I mean, who wants to lose a game on the last second?
All right, here we go, Brian. Last Hail Mary.
Last Hail Mary. What are you supposed to do when it's in the air, Drew? Woo! Nice move. Tolbert did a great job of avoiding the traffic. He did a great, I mean, Tolbert, for the fact that Tolbert got 2 of them off, pretty damn impressive. Pretty impressive.
So everybody keep in mind, if we don't come on next week, y'all know why. I mean, we in YouTube jail.
I think you might have snuck those in small enough bunches that we may not get flagged. I think there's a time limit. I think if it's longer than maybe 15 seconds, I think you get flagged. I think you kind of move those in and out fast enough that I don't think we'll get flagged.
Yeah, that was.
I got Drew. So Jackson State wins the East for the 4th time in the last 5 years. A dynasty, they're in the midst of a dynasty. And it had us doing a little bit of research to kind of see in this era of divisions in the SWAC. This is the first time since Alcorn State's 6-year run from 2014 to 2019 that any school has gone to the SWAC championship game in this many consecutive years. In this many consecutive years. 4 out of 5. Now, over the past 25 years of the SWAC tournament, SWAC championship game, there have been some schools that have gone 3 years in a row, 2 years in a row, 3 out of 5 years, but nobody has gone 4 out of 5. Very impressive run here. Of course, the Deion Sanders back-to-back years, followed by now the TC Taylor back-to-back years, right? And, of course, Taylor was on staff with Sanders in those 2 years, right? So, you know, Taylor has been a part of all of it, really. And the only other similar run that Jackson State has had, you got to go back to the late 80s, where from 1985 to 1990, this was before the SWAC championship game era, Jackson State won or shared the conference title in 5 of those 6 years. And if you want to even go deeper dive into it, in 85, they shared the title. But if you go from 86 to 90, those 5 years alone, they did what, Drew? Won 4 of 5. So when we talk about the legacy that is on the doorsteps for Jackson State football, it's the 86 to 90 run. Because if they win, there it is. Which play is this?
This is the other they did what play?
3rd and goal, huge play. Trying to make this.
Audio. All right. Alcorn State trailing 17-7, 2 minutes in the second quarter. Whoa. Hey now. How big was this? You go from a chance to cut the 10-point deficit to 3, possibly, to now being down 10. But it wasn't just 10, though, was it, Drew?
No. So, and here's the thing. When you watch this play, watch the quarterback.
Oh, look at the guys on the sideline. Where's the quarterback?
Ball's over there.
Whoa.
If you're the quarterback, get on there. Don't try to stop him. Go for the doggone ball yourself.
Yeah, I don't know what he was doing. He didn't. That was a business decision he made right there. It's a bad time to make a business decision.
We all do the fumble drill. Beat him to the ball.
Bad time to make a business decision.
And then Brian, next play.
Very next play. This is what you do when you get a turnover. Hello. Jesus. Really? Right between 2 DBs. That's nasty work.
Once again,
right?
They did what?
Right between 2 defensive. Jeez Louise. Outstanding work there. Well, you want to?
I got one more play in that game, Brian.
You got one more?
I got one more play out that game.
Lord have mercy. Wait,
wait.
There's more. No, I'm gonna let you. I'm
gonna let you. I got to cue it up.
Okay. Because I don't have any more. I was sitting here trying to, this wasn't the only game in the SWAC where there was just chaos taking place. But I know we're talking about this game, this Jackson State game. And now it sets up the interesting matchup. Again, congratulations to Coach TC Taylor, Jackson State winning the SWAC East for the 4th time in 5 years. And it does. It sets up Prairie View at Jackson State, which should be a fascinating game. Yeah, I can't even imagine Edwin. I don't even think it was that game couldn't have been a 2. Well, imagine let me see. I'm trying to think about the time frames of games. Imagine if you were watching the Jackson State Alcorn game, and then by the time that ended, you're dealing with the fourth quarter of the FAMU Bethune-Cookman game. That had to be an amazing, hour of television or streaming in whatever way you were watching those two games. If you were watching those two games back to back or side by side. I mean, it had, because I can't even put it into words. How crazy all that was. But yeah. So I want to do this. I want to take a break for a second because I want to let Drew catch his breath with the info he was showing. And then I want to see how quickly I can pull together what in all transparency, I do not want to show these clips or any of these clips from the Bethune game, but I feel obligated to. So,
and I want people to be able to referee this one in real time.
Which one? Oh, this is the
in real time. We'll talk about it coming back off of the break.
Win. Yeah.
Mute.
6'3", 315 leading the way.
Okay, so this is the one. I saw this. I saw the score update when this happened, and I wondered what happened. Oh, I wonder if he was supposed to go behind him on the second reverse, and instead he went in front of him.
We'll discuss it after the break, Brian.
Football fans, the Cricket Celebration Bowl is celebrating 10 years of crowning an HBCU national champion. A champion will rise at Mercedes-Benz Stadium on December 13th as the MEAC and SWAC champions clash in Atlanta. Join us for championship football, interactive fan experiences, and iconic marching bands. It's an HBCU family reunion that you don't want to miss. See who will be crowned the next HBCU national champion. For event and ticket information, visit thecelebrationbowl.com.
For over 30 years, HBCU Image has been more than just an apparel store. We've been a movement, a statement, a legacy. We celebrate the pride, the purpose, and the culture that make historically black colleges and universities legendary. Whether you're a student or a lifelong supporter, our gear lets you wear your HBCU story with confidence and style. Because when you wear HBCU Image, you're not just wearing clothes. You're wearing culture. You're wearing pride. You're wearing purpose. HBCU.
With over 25 years of serving our communities, Destiny Financial Services, a division of Global Life, is here to help you and your family through difficult times. From cancer care to accidental industries to cardiac care, we all know that there are times that you can't control what happens in your life, but you can be prepared to weather the storm when it comes. Call DFS at 877-300-8269 or visit the website at www.globelifeinsurance.com. That is 877-300-8269, or again, the website at www.globelifeinsurance.com.
ESPN Events presents Red Lobster Band of the Year, a title reserved for elite HBCU marching bands. A season-long competition that culminates in Atlanta on Friday, December 12th. Drum majors, percussion, drill, auxiliaries, musicality. All aspects will be examined by the toughest judges in the world of college bands. 4 will qualify for the big stage, where national champions will be crowned. Follow us on social media for rankings updates throughout the season. And join us in Atlanta on December 12th. For event and ticket information, visit bandoftheyear.com.
We're back on the BCSN SportsWrap, Brian, and I mentioned this to a couple of people on this particular play. I'm not 100% sure that they reviewed this play, and I mentioned this morning on Dr. Cavill, if he doesn't score, because all scoring plays are automatically reviewed, Brian. And I think they was originally looking to see if he stepped out of bounds. Even the people upstairs were looking to see, the commentators were looking to see if he stepped out of bounds right there, which is a legit concern.
Can you rewind it again?
We got it running right now. They're running a replay. They were looking to see if he had stepped out of bounds. But we're gonna let this play out. As the officials continue to talk.
I wonder, did the floor? Hold on. I think they did.
They tell us Cedric Thomas that Cedric Thomas is up here complaining about something. Now, I think he just told him that the ball went forward right there. And the key thing on that was the loss of down. Here we go. Here it is, Brian. That's the first one.
Yep. Okay. There's one.
And if you notice, the reason that's 2 forward passes is that you saw air as the ball went forward.
Yep.
You saw air. You did not see if he puts that ball in his belly on either one of those. Well, on the first one, you have nothing. So the fact he tossed it a little bit forward the first time, that created the penalty on the second. So Jackson State snuck out of there, Brian. They snuck out the vet.
They did.
Yeah. But there was one team, Brian, that was not able to sneak out with the victory. Matter of fact, some cats backdoored the Rattlers.
Drew, it's unbelievable. This Florida Classic in front of 55,000 people, right? First off, I got to mention.
Legit 55K.
55K, huh?
I say that was a legit 55K.
Legit 55. What was the attendance at the Soul Bowl?
I believe it was 27 something.
Okay.
If I remember correctly.
All right. Hey, what happened to? Well, anyway, I'm not gonna go there. Anyway, Israel Carey. Hold on, you're so petty. Like you give me all kinds of grief for being petty. Boy, look at these, look at this, petty. That's all right. A game in which Bethune-Cookman had a.
Oh, my bad. They are right. It was 44. 44-097.
44. Okay. No, that's good.
44-097.
Yeah, Edwin, it wasn't 15K at the Super Bowl. 44K. 44 is good. I mean, those are realistic numbers. That's great attendance numbers. I mean, by far and away, that's the, that's what it, that's what you get. For real. What I was wondering, Drew, is how do you go from being down 15, scoring 18 straight points to take the lead, give the lead back, then retake the lead, only to get to a point in the game late in the fourth quarter where your opponent is 4th and 8 with 28 seconds to go? That is the drama that was the second half of the Florida Classic. And I mean, you guys know what I do, and you know who I am. And so, congratulations to Bethune on the win. I hold no play. Sometimes plays just happen in college football, Drew. It ain't the coach's fault, even though I know a lot of people want to blame the coach. It ain't the coach's fault because, Drew, as a coach, and I know, you teach, you talk, you teach, you talk, you teach, you talk, you remind, you teach, you remind,
but you cannot execute.
But you can't. The one thing we as coaches can't do is we can't be on the field to execute. So, and sometimes you want to say, well, replace him. Well, who's to say that the next guy would have done any better? But anyway, sometimes you get a situation like what occurred with 28 seconds to go in the Florida Classic. 34-31, Florida A&M leading. Now, what's funny is Bethune only needed a first down to get to the, to really get within field goal range. But instead, you saw him point. That means he was chucking it. And then wide open was a guy on the sideline.
Brian, can you rewind that and do your call?
Oh, Jesus.
If you don't have your call already pulled up.
I don't have my call, but I'm going to try to re-emulate my call on the Rattler Football Network as best as I can. All right, let me see if I can do this. 28 seconds to go. 4th and 8. Rattlers need one stop. 2 receivers set on the left and right. McLean dropping back the pass. He's pointing. He's looking. He goes deep. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, there's a man open. Touchdown, Bethune. Unbelievable. Timmy McLean, 41-yard touchdown pass to Chase Evans, I think is his first name. Josh Evans, 41 yards. The Wildcats have the lead. I literally, I think I said, oh, no. I feel pretty sure that I said, oh, no, because I just couldn't, because it's one of those plays when I saw the guy point, I knew he was going Hail Mary. So then I scanned and looked deep, and that's when I looked up and saw. Yeah, I see the comments from EA. Go ahead and put it up there from EA too. The young man
Yes,
who was involved in that play, he's had some troubles this year. He definitely has. I'm sure the nation will go back and they'll go back and look at all of the plays from him this past season, and they'll put a compilation together that'll make someone cry. I disagree with that statement that the team's talent is horrible. The team's talent is not horrible. The team's talent is not performing at a consistent level. That's what I'll say. It's hard. Look, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. It's hard for me to be objective. It really is. I mean, not by the fact that I just work so intimately calling these games and you get to know these coaches and players a little bit. Not even, like I said, I'm not even fully, I just kind of listen and observe a lot. But
Brian, this comment says it all.
it's great. That is a great
Brandon,
analogy.
you wrong for that.
But you know why you know what, Brandon? That's onto something, because you know why? Because I don't think we weren't playing prevent coverage. We weren't playing for the Hail Mary. Because if you're playing for the Hail Mary, there's probably about 6 DBs back there. We were playing a 4th and 8, expecting them to go for at least a 10 or 15 yarders, because there's plenty of time. They had plenty of time. They had a timeout. So think about that for a second. There's plenty of time on the clock. They had a timeout. I'm expecting. What are you expecting? Drew, what are you expecting? I'm expecting them to go for a 10, 15-yarder.
Brian, irregardless of whether they go up for the 10, 15-yarder, whether they go up for the Hail Mary, there was an obvious miscommunication in what defense they were playing. If they were playing zone and somebody was supposed to have quarters and supposed to pass them off, whoever was supposed to pick them up over the top did not pick them up.
No, they didn't.
Or if they were playing man, well, he got burnt like toast if they was in man. So I don't know what they were playing. 2 deep, quarters, single high. I don't know what that was. But whatever was drawn on that whiteboard, Brian, that was not it. That play call was not that elaborate. That was oh crap. That almost looked like scramble drill.
I think I heard somewhere, I heard in the post game that they were playing quarters, but they weren't playing prevent. Let me just say that. They weren't playing prevent defense. And
Tampa 2 quarters, single high.
Again,
I don't care.
If you're playing prevent, that's why I said it was so funny that he posted that about being in the wrong coverage, because it wasn't that you're in the wrong coverage. Again, the situation, it was 4th and 8, but if they could have gotten 10 yards, they're in field goal range, and they have a timeout. I wasn't expecting them to throw a 41-yarder until I saw the kid point. When I saw the quarterback point, Drew, that's when I said, oh, no, he's heaving it towards the end zone, which means you had 4 receivers on a go route. Nobody attacked the middle, which they could have easily picked up 15 yards over the middle, got down, spiked the ball, called a timeout, and there would have been like 15, 18 seconds left on the clock. Right? So, I don't know. But again, the season is not over for Florida A&M. They, of course, play next week against Mississippi Valley State. The season is over for Bethune-Cookman, and it's the last year on Coach Raymond Woody's contract. It's the best year he's had in the 3 years he's there, Drew. I was talking to some people to try to find out what the vibe is as to whether he would be back. I'm interested. You know, you looked more competitive this year. Does this year buy you maybe another 2 years? Maybe if you were Reggie Theus, or let's just put your athletic administration hat on for a second, Drew, would you give Raymond Woody maybe a 2-year contract extension? Or would you go deeper? 3 years?
You have to go 2.
Worst fear in the world, Israel. It's not going to happen. Not going to happen. What do you say? You have to?
You have to go minimum 2. Whoo.
Who else will want the job? I think is what you're saying. I think you do have to, I think Woody will get. Put it like this. I think that unless you do make some overtures into a few calls, I think Reggie Theus would be unwise for Reggie Theus to not inquire. Now, here's the thing though. When you come into a job, you hope to leave a job in a better place than when you found it. Coach Raymond Woody, he has done that. He's an alum. He played for the football program. He was asked to take over after the disaster of who? Yeah.
ER.
Exactly. After that whole thing, he was asked to kind of get us right. And while he was doing that, a lot of things within the administration got right. They solidified their athletic director in Theus, who was still early in his tenure. But also, Bethune-Cookman has a president that they now have a full-time president. They had an interim president at the time.
They're in a better financial position as an institution.
There's a lot of things that are in a better place. So it makes me wonder, they may kick the tires for these first couple of weeks to kind of see if there's some interest from some coaches that are out there.
I don't think so, Brian. Brian, I'm going to disagree. I'm going to disagree.
Really?
Because Raymond is one of their own. And he understands Bethune. He knows Bethune. He knows the people on the other side of campus. I guarantee you they respect him and the job that he's done. And usually when you come home, especially given this situation, you're not necessarily looking for the next job. I think they're happy, and I don't think there's a rush to do this, Brian. There's probably already been some type of handshake behind the scenes.
I think him winning the Classic made it tougher for them. I do. I think it made it tougher because I have a thought that after losing to Jackson State and losing, who was it? The Grambling loss. I think had they beaten Grambling and lost to Jackson State, you were expected to lose to Jackson State, but you at least gave a good fight, which they still did, given the suspensions, which probably didn't even affect their, roster apparently, right? But they were in that game with Jackson State. They fought Jackson State to the fourth quarter. They won. So Woody had ended his season. Coach Woody, Raymond Woody, ended his season on a positive note that is going to make it really hard. And that's why I said somebody's wish list, like Reggie, every AD is supposed to have a wish list or at least have a list of names in his drawer. And so if Reggie Theus goes to that list and you see somebody that's available or might be interested through some back channels, he may ask. And I don't know, Drew. I think Raymond Woody came in to kind of help solidify the program. He's done that. I don't think he is the answer for the next 5 years. I don't know. I think he's, you can stick around and try to find out and see. He had a good defense. He had a pretty decent defense his first 2 years, no offense. Then this year, he had an offense and no defense, really.
So Bryan, when is the last time, well, for the first time since joining the SWAC, Bethune-Cookman was relevant, not in October, Bryan, in November.
Yeah.
That's got to mean something, Bryan.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you.
And think about it, Bryan. You did two of the three big things. You beat your rival.
Yep.
You won your homecoming.
And went unbeaten at home.
And so you've done what we think is the minimum to keep your job. You beat your rival, you win homecoming, and you accomplish some other goal, which was going undefeated at home. Because Bethune does not have that other quote unquote rival that you have, or that other classic, as we like to call it. Going undefeated at home replaced that winning that classic.
Right.
So if Raymond wants to be there, I think they keep him for 2 more years.
Really?
Yes. Because you know how I feel about 1-year contracts, Bryan.
Well, I think 2 years. Yeah, definitely 2 years. But the thing about a 2-year contract is after 1 year, you're pretty much got to renew after year 1, or then you got another lame duck coach again. So maybe it's 2 years with some sort of incentive that would kick in a 3rd year. That's what I would be negotiating if I was his.
But whose option? Is it a performance option? Is it a school option? Or is it a coach's
performance
option?
Performance option. Like, we have to win 8 games
and beat FAMU,
or 7 wins and beat FAMU, and then you would kick me into a 3rd year. Because this year they finished 6-6. So after year 1, I'm saying,
I need you to improve.
Yeah, you let me win 7 games next year, or maybe 7 or beat FAMU. I don't know the wording, and then give me a 3rd year. I don't know. Be creative with it.
Yeah.
In the SWAC, any other? Where's the SWAC graphic?
Poor Alabama State.
Oh man,
definitely you're going to possibly win 10 games and be sitting at home.
Alabama State wins their 9th game for the first time since 2004. They got the Turkey Day Classic against Tuskegee coming up on Thursday. And you might go 10-2 and be sitting at home.
No, ain't no. Well, you gonna be sitting at home.
You're gonna be sitting at home,
no matter what happened. But
yeah.
Now here's the debate, Bryan.
That's gonna be tough.
Here's the debate. You and I was talking about this. Some people have been asking, why does Alabama State continue to play the Turkey Day Classic? I think you and I were talking about that earlier today, Bryan.
A lot of people are asking that question, Drew.
Okay.
Shed some light.
Instead of going to the playoffs. Bryan, can I take you to the athletic boardroom?
Sure.
All right. Let's go into the athletic boardroom, everybody. We've got our rival that we play every year at our place for a classic. And we consistently draw $25K for this game at $40, $50 a ticket.
Mm-hmm.
That's $1 million, Ryan. 25K at $40 a ticket. That's $1 million, Brian.
Are those numbers legitimate numbers? I mean, is that what?
25,000?
That's what it's been?
Oh, easy.
Okay.
Yeah.
And is that the ticket price? That seems kind of high, ticket price.
Brian, I can't even say. I was about to say when the last time you bought a ticket, but
it's been a long time.
Exactly.
You know, I've been
but
doing
yes, no, that is not high.
Okay.
That is not high. Matter of fact, everybody, put it in the chat. How much is your ticket for your games? A regular game and then a classic game, not homecoming game.
See, EA said it hadn't been that number in years.
Bull.
Don't make me do
but he is
Google
correct.
search.
It has kind of dwindled off. It's probably been around 18 to 20,000 realistically, but even still, you're talking $750K, Brian, for a home game. Now, I can get rid of that game, or move it to a date that doesn't draw the attention that one does. Excuse me, I've got to sneeze, everybody.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you guys got me looking up.
All right, now, Brian, I could possibly move that game and $300,000-$400,000 gate on that game if I move it, or I could go to the playoffs, potentially go to the playoffs, Brian. How many times am I in a position to go to the playoffs?
Yeah.
What, once every 5 years if you're good, Brian? The cycle of a regular team, once every 5 years. And me going to the playoffs is going to do what, Brian? Cost me what?
It's going to cost you some money.
It's going to cost me money. So make 750 after expenses, debt $500K, or spend $200K to travel. $700K difference. Those are the conversations that they have. That's why that classic continues on.
Maybe the real question should be, maybe the real question should be, is it time for the FCS to consider moving the start of their playoffs?
Just to accommodate us HBCUs?
Well, no. Conference championship week is technically the first weekend in December, is it not?
Yeah.
And here's where I'm going. Watch where I'm going with this.
All right.
Now that the FCS has started moving their championship game
into January,
is it time for them to start moving to open up the door for more FCS conferences to maybe have championship games, and then thus, I don't know. You're right. You're like accommodating us, but really, how many FCS conferences really could benefit from having a championship game? Brian. Extra revenue.
Brian, let me school you on something. Let me explain something to you. The HBCU experience is a unique experience at the FCS level.
It is.
Because none of the other conferences draw 5 digits per game. You're talking teams that draw 4,000, 6,000, 2,000, Brian. Why the hell would I want to host another game when I'm only going to draw 2,500 people, Brian?
Damn good point.
Only at the HBCU level do we get what we know we're going to get 10, 15, 20,000 for a game?
Okay.
There's only one other conference out there that has attendance that rivals the SWAC, Brian, and that's select schools, and that's the Big Sky. You know, North Dakota State, North Dakota, Montana, all those schools that beat everybody's butt in the FCS playoffs.
Right.
That's the only other conference, Brian.
Right.
You think the Big South OVC championship game is going to draw more than 1,500 people? You think the CAA conference championship game is going to draw 1,500 people? How about the Patriot League? How about the Ivy League?
Okay. All right, Drew. All right. I got you.
Want me to keep going?
No, I don't. I don't. Point served. I got you. Also, just want to quickly mention this is the last year of the Alonzo Hampton era, or the end of the Alonzo Hampton contract, I believe. He had a 4-year deal. This is his 4th year at UAPB. It was the most successful year he's had. I think they had 4 wins this year. And prior to losing these last 3 games, I mean, shoot, they were 4-5. And then they lost these last 3 games. So, you know, Edwin, you're funny. Just been busy. I'll be back tomorrow night, by the way, Edwin. So he's abandoning me. Jesus. But anyway, Alonzo Hampton. Are you keeping Alonzo Hampton? Do you start the national search for a new coach?
I don't know about Alonzo Hampton, Brian, but I do know about Hampton.
Oh, you want to transition? All right. All
right. This is the. Go ahead, Brian.
I'm just going to quickly end the segment talking about just giving some props to Texas Southern, who with the 24-7 win. Texas Southern, I think the notes I read, this was their first winning season since
2000.
2000 is what their website said. I found that kind of interesting. They may be excluding the
they didn't take out the 1 year they got vacated.
Yeah. So
one of the years of the teams where they won the West.
Yeah, that team had to vacate whatever those wins. So which is, I don't know. I feel like that feels disingenuous to the student athletes when you do it that way, but whatever. But anyway, so first official winning season since 2000 for Texas Southern. Congrats to Chris Dishman. They finished 6-5. And then, of course, Prairie View 59-6 over Valley. It was what it was. Nobody got hurt, and so Valley goes into the championship game healthy. There it is. And, of course, Valley. So next week, you got Grambling versus Southern, Bayou Classic. And Florida A&M travels to Itta-Bena, Mississippi to make up for that Valley screwing up the job of hosting that game when they had it in Atlanta. But anyway. That part right there, Edwin. But Edwin, you bring up a good point, which is to say, you know, do you really, you know, if you move away from a guy, are you going to put a situation and a system in place that's better than what's already there?
Yeah.
Because
and that's what places like Hampton need to be asking.
Yeah. Speaking of Hampton, as
this Drew is Brian, we got to name this segment.
Coaching changes.
This is the Ferrasi Norman where to submit my resume segment. Coach Ferrasi. This is what's hot.
This is what's hot. This is why I'm hot. This is why I'm hot. All right. Well, it just came across the press this morning that there's a leadership change for Hampton football. The Hampton Pirates are moving on from their head coach. This part of their website, from their head website, hamptonpirates.com. Director of Intercollegiate Athletics, Anthony D. Henderson Sr. announced an immediate change in the football program, relieving Trent Boykins of his duties as head coach. Quote, "It is always difficult to make changes, particularly when it involves dedicated professionals and student athletes. Our commitment remains unwavering to ensuring Hampton football achieves the highest standards of excellence on and off the field. We want to thank Coach Boykin for his dedication and leadership and wish him the best in his future endeavors." Boykins was a veteran running back and special teams coach for 3 decades of college experience. He took over as the interim coach for the 2024-25 season. Remember, the former coach, I think, got let go after spring football, right, in 2024. And so Boykin took over. They got off to a good spring, or a good September, rather. They had a really good September. I think they were like 3-1. And I know that somebody that I know voted Hampton number 1 in somebody's poll. I don't know. I don't know what that guy was doing. But anyway.
Would that be the guy who's not on screen?
No, I don't think it was you. It might have been the other guy on the screen. And so in October of 24, he was named the permanent head coach. And the interim tag was lifted. And what happened in a year and a half later? He's gone. He's gone. The Pirates closed their season with a, let me see. Let me look at the schedule here. What was Hampton's season? Any guesses what Hampton's season was this year, Drew?
They were 0 and whatever.
In the conference, yes. But
they beat
2 in-state rivals.
Yeah, they beat 2 D2s. Like they beat Elizabeth City.
That was one of them. And I don't know, you calling Norfolk State a D2?
Oh, they beat Norfolk State, my bad.
They did beat everybody. Everybody beat Norfolk State. Come on, Drew. Yeah, they beat Norfolk State. Yeah. But they lost to A&T, which A&T is a bad football team. They lost to A&T in double overtime. I mean, when you go and look at North Carolina A&T, what is their? I think North Carolina, that might have been A&T's 1 win.
It was.
No, they got 2. A&T got 2 wins. And A&T was 2-6 in conference. So that had to burn people up. This is the same North Carolina A&T. Listen to these scores in the last 2 weeks by North Carolina A&T. 3 of the last 4 weeks in conference. They lost to Elon 55-17. Lost to Monmouth 63-19. They lost to Stony Brook 38-12. That's not too bad. And then they lost to Towson 62-9. So that's 3 of the last 4 weeks where they gave up 55, 63, 62. But still, that A&T team went 2-6 in conference, and Hampton went 0-8. So yeah, I think that might have done it. That might have done it right there. Because if you're looking and saying we can't allow ourselves to be as bad as Norfolk State. And right now, you're as bad as Norfolk State without the attention.
Football in the Tidewater region sucks.
You said what now?
Football in the Tidewater region sucks right now.
2004, he had a 5-7 season, 2-6 in conference play. So in the 2 seasons in the CAA, he has gone 2-14 in conference play.
That'll do it, Brian.
That'll do it.
So do we
Now,
have our list of openings?
Yeah, the list of openings. So that's the main list. Obviously, the Southern University job is a job that's open.
UAPB, we're waiting on the contract.
Yeah, Carlos Brown had reported, or he on his
And
show.
I was
Hold
gonna
on a
say
second. Hold on.
Bethune, we're waiting on the
Hold on.
contract.
Carlos talked about there being 5 candidates for the Southern job. And one of those candidates being Marshall Faulk, Hall of Famer Marshall Faulk. And then on the Division II level, you've got Bowie State that made the decision to move away from Kyle Jackson on Friday. Savannah State and Winston-Salem jobs are open. And then on the NAIA level, Langston University is open as they ended a 10-year relationship with Quentin Morgan. So,
and we got 2 contracts that we're waiting to see what they're going to do.
2 contracts that you're waiting to see what happens. You got Raymond Woody at Bethune-Cookman.
Correct.
Alonzo Hampton at
Pine Bluff.
And then all the rest of you guys can speculate about the jobs at Alcorn, Florida A&M. Where else you want to speculate? You guys will speculate wherever you want. But those coaches still have at least another year on their contract. Grambling. I've kind of heard some different things. I don't know if Mickey Joseph is on the second of a 2-year or how that, but he might be. Look, if Mickey Joseph wins 8 games this year, even with the ridiculous comments he made a week ago, and he beat Southern, and they finished 8 wins, second in conference, are you looking at Mickey Joseph like, you know what?
Is the juice worth the squeeze?
Yeah, exactly. That's a great analogy. Is the juice worth the squeeze? So, all right. So let's do this real quick. Hampton. If I'm Hampton, I'm making a call right off the bat to Dr. Alvin Parker. I mean, look who his AD is. Joe Taylor. I know Joe Taylor doesn't want to lose Dr. Alvin Parker, but Joe Taylor knows what kind of money is floating around in Hampton. And if Hampton wants to win, then some of those very affluent alums, I know some of them, they got to step up to the plate and say, we want Dr. Alvin Parker. If he can do that for Virginia Union with 19 scholarships, what can he do with a full what? That would be the scariest thing in the world to Norfolk State. I'm going to tell you that right off the bat. That is what Norfolk State should be very afraid of, which is why last year I was saying Norfolk State should be talking to Dr. Alvin Parker because this is their worst nightmare, that he ends up over at Hampton with resources more than what he has at Virginia Union, and he ends up doing what Tremaine Jackson is doing over at Prairie View, which is taking that level of winning, or Chennis Berry, taking that level of winning from the Division II and bringing it to your FCS program. And that's going to shake up the MEAC right there, the CAA. I think that could shake up the CAA big time. I can't think of any other candidates on that. Our good friend Farasi Norman, Langston, be a great fit. It's alma mater. I also think the Savannah State gig would be a good opportunity in the SIAC Division II level, given that it's in Georgia. And I know, there's some good people there at Savannah State to work with too. As a good fertile recruiting ground, I think Farasi can do really well in Georgia, Alabama, South Carolina. Yeah, I think he could do really well.
And get to North Florida also.
Yes, North Florida. I think he could do really well in a 6-hour radius of Savannah State.
You only go 3 directions though, Brian. That 4th direction is gonna kill you every time. Don't go east. North, south, or west. Don't go east.
The Winston-Salem State job, the tradition is there.
Since when? It hasn't been there since Connell Maynard.
No, it hadn't been there with this current coach, with Robert Massey. It left. It was there, all the previous coaches. And don't look, Steven will show you. He got the receipts. I've seen it. They were winning. Every coach had won a title prior to this coach, Robert Massey, who, was let go. He was winning. I think, what, I will look, one of these names that might be, I didn't ask this, but I wonder if one of the names in that Southern list is Quentin Morgan. I think he's a very good coach. I think he stayed at Langston maybe about 2 or 3 years too long. But that's another coach who you have limited scholarships.
And Quentin Morgan used to coach at Southern.
See, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah. And we've seen what when given the resources, it'd be interesting. Be interesting to see what he could do. I think he would be in the running. I'm gonna tell you, I don't think the coaching carousel is done, Drew. I think there's gonna be a couple of coaches that have maybe a year left, that there may be some schools that say we're gonna go in a different direction.
No, man.
I think a MEAC, I'm gonna make this prediction. I think there will be a change in a MEAC coaching position. I do have a feeling. Just to guess, because I don't think you can stay. And that may even be, as bold as this sounds, Drew, you might even have a coach that says, I'm going to resign, because one of those coaches I can think of has shown what he could do with limited resources at an FCS program, that if he got somewhere else, man, he might do a better job, might have better success on his resume.
I'm gonna throw something else out there to you, Brian.
Yeah.
I think 2.5 is your number, Brian. The number of the current HBCU Division II coaches who move up to the FCS level. You taking the over or under, Brian?
2.5 on what now?
Current HBCU D2 coaches who get a job on the FCS level. A head job on the FCS level.
I'm going to say the under. Under. Because 2.5 means there could be 2 and I'd still win. I think 2.5 is a lot. If you said 1.5, I would have had a tough time answering that one. And another name, I'm gonna give you another name that I would be kicking the tires if I'm some coaches. Maurice Flowers. I mean, Johnson C. Smith, what he has built at Johnson C. Smith. Come on now.
That could be your third one, Brian.
The secret to success.
Brian.
Yeah.
I'm going to say that again. That could be your third one.
It could be. And
because right now there's one in the CIAA. Obviously, we're not gonna call them out because we don't want to start any rumor mills. There's one obvious candidate in the CIAA. There's one obvious candidate in the SIAC. That could be that second one. He could be the second one in the CIAA, Brian.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Okay. We'll keep an eye out on this.
There's another one in the SIAC that Emmett threw out.
That's a good one because I think he has ties previously coaching at the FCS level, if I'm not mistaken.
So,
all right.
Let's get this. Let's get these FCS rankings and get out of here, Bryan.
All right, it's time for the BCSN top 5 rankings, Division I level. These are computer rankings. It's not a poll, so no individuals were asked their opinions on who they thought would be the top 5 teams in Black college football. This is all done based on the computer metrics and the analytics. All right, let's go, Drew. So there's going to be no changes.
Wrong one. That's the wrong graphic. Let's remove that one because that one is not the updated graphic.
But I wanted to put that. You should leave it up there just so we can.
But that was last week's. That was last week's. That's not even up
what
there.
I'm saying is we're not going to show the new. It was going to give me a lead in to say we're not going to show a new under D1 poll until after either the last HBCU team is eliminated or after the playoffs.
All right.
That's
let
where
me
I was
load it back up. Let me load that back up.
Yeah. So just to let people know where we were at the end of the regular season, reminder here. Okay. At the end of the regular season, this is how it ended. Albany State was 1, Benedict was 2. Kind of interesting how that works out, folks. Virginia Union was 3, Kentucky State 4, Johnson C 5. So all we have left is 1 and 2. And hey, guess what they're doing? They're playing each other. Now, the curious thing though, Drew, there is a point difference. And let's just, for the sake of argument, Benedict could close the gap with a win over Albany State. But there's still room that the computer may still look at Albany State's body of work and still rank them number 1. Now, I think Benedict with 2 solid wins would probably surpass Albany State. You see what I'm saying? Does that you agree or disagree? What's your thought there? I mean,
yes, the win over Benedict would close the gap. A win in the regional finals definitely would make Benedict number 1. It may almost be to the point where you may have to statistically call them cold should Benedict win this game.
I'll be interested to see how close the numbers are. All right. But we'll see. We got a matchup of number 1 versus number 2 on Saturday, 1:00 at Albany State. All right, let's take it to Division I rankings. We're just going to show this flat out. Is this new or old?
That is the new.
Oh, Lord. All right, the new top 5 rankings. Yikes. The new top 5 computer rankings. Number 5 is South Carolina State. Number 4 is Delaware State. 3 is Jackson State. 2 is Prairie View. 1 is Alabama State. And that's how it was last week.
Same teams, different order.
Same teams, different order. I think, who moved up? Did Prairie View move up?
Prairie View moved up. Wow. Jackson State actually stayed the same. Prairie View and Delaware swapped spots.
Oh, my God.
And South Carolina State bumped Central.
Whew. Lord, don't show Israel this. Oh, he's still in the chat room. We're about to have a heart attack. I just want to be totally transparent with y'all. In the voting poll, you notice Dr. Gaville said on the show this morning that Jackson State picked up a first place vote. I am letting y'all know that because I said I would do it. I said once the East was decided, I would put the winner of the East ahead of the other team. In which case, I did. I moved Jackson State to 1, and I moved I actually moved South Carolina State to 2. And then I think I had Prairie View 3, Alabama State 4. You lied. You liar. You liar. You liar. You liar. Liar, liar, pants on fire, Israel. You do care.
I'm going to say this and get out of here, Brian.
Okay.
SC State got my number 1 vote in Cavill's poll.
Whoa. Okay.
Top victory over a top 5 opponent, Brian.
Two strong wins.
Along with who Alabama State played, although Alcorn's a decent opponent, they still unranked, and the fact that Alabama State cannot compete for the championship. I felt the victory with South Carolina State over the top 5 opponent deserved my number 1 vote.
Drew, which group of 6 teams do you think has a better rating? The SWAC East or the MEAC?
Oh, SWAC East.
Okay. So
because really there's really only one dog team in the SWAC East. That being Valley.
Right. Okay. So with that
right now, you've got the SWAC, the MEAC is top heavy. You got 3 good teams you got 3 good teams, and then you got and I'm sorry, y'all, you got 3 dog teams this year.
So that's why I have Jackson State 1, and I have South Carolina State 2. That was my justification in Cavill's poll for having it ranked the way I had. And I moved Prairie View ahead of Alabama State because I recognize that you won your division and you beat Alabama State.
No,
now, I know all,
No, you didn't. You won your division, but you did not beat Alabama State.
Oh, that's right. Prairie View didn't beat Alabama State. That's right. Well, I gave it on the division then. I'm sorry. I gave it on the division. Yeah. But it's still close ball game. Close ball game. But again, it was more so the division thing. I honestly, it was the division thing. And because the fact that you get to play in the championship game and you get a chance to beat the East Division winner sets you up to move up to be at least number 2, which then sets the stage. Look, either way, in my ranking, I'm going to end up with a 1v2 somehow, some way.
Exactly. It's just who's coming in.
It's just who's coming in where. I don't think, as good of a season as Alabama State.
And that's all you could ask for.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. So that's my story. I'm sticking to it. I know.
And it's going to play out on the field.
That part in the end of the day, Drew, is where it really matters. You guys, fortunately for all these teams, they don't factor in any of our polls and rankings in deciding who goes to the Celebration Bowl and all that other stuff. But we gotta have a metric, and that's what we have. We got voters in one category, people, polls, and then we have our computer rankings. I am fascinated at the computer ranking saying Alabama State's number 1, but it's not the first time that the computer metrics have surprised me. So, and we don't duck no smoke around here, as my friend Kelvin Roger says. So, it is our computer rankings have been what they've been. Sometimes they equal out to what the pollsters say. Sometimes they're different. All right, Drew, time to bag it up and go.
Yeah, time to go put some more of this. Time to go pull out the bottle of NyQuil this time.
Yeah, man, you sound miserable. Hope you find yourself Hope you found yourself over the next couple days. What Thanksgiving are you going to be? You're going to be in where? Montgomery?
No, I'm not going down for Turkey Day this year.
No.
No. I'm gonna carve my own turkey.
Oh, look at you. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'm still figuring out what I'm gonna do. I still have to make sure I'm actually flying to Itabena or Jackson, Mississippi, and not driving on a bus. But anyway, yeah, congratulations to Shedeur Sanders. His first career start, first career win against a team that should have drafted him. Oh, the chaos. The interwebs are going to be buzzing all next 24 hours at how horrible the Raiders have screwed it up. But congrats to Shedeur.
How about why the Browns didn't start him? Oh, let me shut up. Let's get off this show before I start going.
Hey, well, it is what it is. Enjoy it. Celebrate your former players, Jackson State folks. That's what you should rightfully do. Well, that's going to do it for tonight's show. For A.D. Drew and I got to thank our man Hobbs for joining the show a little bit earlier and giving us a great breakdown of the Division II playoffs. Good luck to Albany State and Benedict. They play on Saturday at Albany State, 1 p.m. ESPN Plus. Should be a good game. Don't forget the Bayou Classic. How can you? It'll be on NBC, featuring, of course, Southern and Grambling. Can Southern get their first conference win, or will they go winless for the first time since the 40s? And then on SWAC TV, you can watch, if you want, Florida A&M and, you're just starving for football, I guess.
Why would you? Yeah.
Mississippi Valley State
against the Bayou,
Florida
that was
A&M.
not a smart decision either.
Is it the same time?
Pretty much.
Maybe they'll move it up.
They should have had a noon
kickoff.
They should have had a noon kickoff so everybody get out there before sundown. Let's get up out this show, man.
Exactly. That's what they should do. A noon kickoff. All right. Thank you to everybody. We'd appreciate it if you hit the thumbs up and the like button. If you would, do us a favor and go check out the BCSN Pod Zone, the podcast aggregate of all the shows that are part of the Black College Sports Network, available on Spotify, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, Apple, and Google Podcasts. Is where you can download the BCSN Pod Zone. All right. For A.D. Drew, I'm Brian Fulford. Thanks for watching tonight. Have a happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Until we see you again, eat well, be thankful, and be well. Safe travels out on the roads to anybody traveling. God bless everybody. Peace out.
Have a light, everybody. We'll holler.